He didn't even look me in the eyes when he did it. The papers hit the oak table like a gavel striking down a sentence. "You're a failure," my father said, his voice cold, final. "You have 12 hours to get out. Your brother owns this house now." I remembered the taste of copper in my mouth, the way my jaw locked to keep me from speaking. My brother leaned against the doorframe, smug, almost waiting for me to beg. Instead, I smiled. Not out of kindness, out of calculation. I stood, picked up my jacket, and left without a word. He thought he'd won, but betrayal like that? It doesn't end with a slammed door. It plants something deeper, something patient. It wasn't always this way. When I was younger, I wanted nothing more than to be seen by my father. He admired strength, results, victories you could measure. My brother, 2 years younger, spoiled with every advantage, was his reflection, the golden son. I was the shadow in the background, the one who built quietly, who sacrificed. Every late night, every business deal I fought tooth and nail to close. Every time I thought, this will finally make him proud. But it was never enough. The first crack showed itself 6 months ago. I noticed my brother hanging around my office more than usual, asking too many questions. Then clients started slipping, one after another. My father stopped calling me to family dinners. Whispers in the corridors reached me. "Your brother's taking over." And then I saw it, the document. My own father's signature transferring property, assets, rights. My name scratched out. My brother's in its place. It was already done before he even told me. Shock is quiet. It doesn't scream, it freezes. But once it thawed, my mind turned sharp. I realized something. If they wanted war, they had already made their first mistake. They underestimated me. I didn't rage. I didn't confront. I planned. My brother never understood details. He thrived on appearances, handshakes, charm. My father worshipped him for it. But charm without foundation collapses. And I knew every weak beam in their shiny little empire because I was the one who built it. So I began removing nails, one by one. First, I called the contractors, quietly, subtly, the ones still loyal to me. Payments delayed, promises broken. Not mine, my brother's. Then I reached out to the investors he depended on, men who remembered who had brought them profit years before. I didn't demand loyalty, I offered opportunity. Meanwhile, I let my brother feel untouchable. I let him host dinners in the house that used to be mine. I let him pour my father's wine and pretend he belonged. All the while, I tightened the noose. The night came quicker than I expected. I was sitting in a rented apartment across town when the call came from one of my old allies. My brother had walked into the boardroom to sign a deal, his biggest triumph. But the documents had already been rewritten, contracts reassigned. What he thought was his golden ticket was actually the trigger of his downfall. I had waited until every signature, every clause was locked before I stepped back into that house. He was there in the living room when I arrived, pacing, phone in hand, voice frantic. My father sat in his chair, confusion etched deep. I stood in the doorway, calm, deliberate. "What did you do?" my brother hissed. I didn't answer immediately. I walked past him, my shoes tapping against the marble, and laid a folder on the table, the very table my father had slammed those eviction papers on. "Read," I said. They did. Their faces shifted from irritation to disbelief to something closer to fear. Every asset my brother thought he owned? Transferred. Every contract? Voided. Every investor? Already signed under me. My father's hand shook as he turned page after page. This isn't possible." "It's not only possible," I said quietly. "It's done." Silence stretched. My brother's breath came fast, shallow. He looked at our father, waiting for him to intervene, to save him. But for the first time, my father had nothing to give. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. This house, this empire, the name you tried to erase, it all comes back to me. And you, Father, gave it away to someone who never earned it. That was your mistake. I saw it then, the crack in my father's armor, the realization that the son he dismissed was the only one capable of building or destroying, that his golden boy was hollow without me. My brother lunged, fists clenched, but I stepped aside. He collapsed into the chair, broken more by truth than failure. I turned toward the door. Walking out, I didn't feel anger. I felt clarity. They had wanted me gone, erased, humiliated. Instead, I left with everything, and they were left with nothing but each other's blame. Revenge isn't loud. It doesn't need fireworks. It's the silence when the betrayer realizes the trap was there all along, waiting.